Hi everyone and welcome to WolfTV. Today I'm joined by Dominic and Jason as per usual, and we're going to be talking a little bit today about the broader definition of design and how you can use good design in your digital products and services and what that means. But before we get into that and dive into the magic bowl for some questions, you guys went to an event recently, didn't you? And I think you wanted to say a few words about that because you came back super pumped.
Super pumped.
Yeah.
We did. No, we went to a great event at the Design Museum in London, which was, it is actually an amazing place to go. Like, I haven't been for such a long time.
Well,
So.
I went to the Kubrick exhibition there a few months ago, which is amazing. But anyway, we'll do another show about that.
No, but so the premise of the event that we went to was called Breakthrough Innovation, and it was part of Innovate UK and KTN.
Knowledge Transfer Network.
The Knowledge Transfer Network.
Lots of talk around design and how it can be used in your business and design thinking as well. So yeah, super relevant for us.
So thank you KTN and thank you Innovate UK for the great event. Let's do it. Right. Question number one. What is design?
The conception of what everyone thinks of design is like a generic term. So like visual design, designing a website, designing a brand.
Yeah.
So it's just like things you can see, or it's kind of like something you do on your iMac in Photoshop.
Yeah.
But that feels like that's just one layer of it, and that's something that came across yesterday in the event. It's more than just visual design.
Traditionally, if you said to someone what is design, it would be like, well, you do this, you do that, and then you do the design bit, which is, and people say those words that we hate to hear, which is the colouring in bit or whatever. It's just like, but yeah, so traditionally, people trained as graphic designers, and then people are coming through as UI designers or visual designers, or the many guises that takes. But we're talking about design in the more broader sense. Okay. So within the last however many years, more than 10 years, but I feel like the common vocabulary has been shifting over the last 10 years.
Well, yeah, I think design has moved on a lot over the recent years, and it is no longer just like a great shoe or the sofa you sit on and stuff like that. It's become more of an integral part of a business and an organisation, and it's become more of a commodity.
Yeah. And
it's not used in the same way anymore. It's all about how you can utilise it in a more of a kind of towards creatively solving problems within organisations. So rather than coming in at the end, and being like, oh well, let's just make this look pretty. It's like much more integral part of the strategy and the stuff at the very beginning.
So it's design processes now that people can go through. So rather than it being, oh, let's leave it with a designer or a design agency to go away and do something, it's no, let's bring the design process to the team and get everyone involved in it, or get select people from the business involved in it and get them making decisions.
So what we're saying basically is design is no longer for designers, right? So you still have
just
designers.
For designers,
yeah. Well, no, not. They still got
designers don't job anymore.
Yesterday,
he's out of the job. Everyone else has taken it. No, it's a shared responsibility. There's accountability from different parts of the team. Like you said, there's creative problem solving, and there's that design is weaved throughout. So when we say creative problem solving, we're talking about stuff like design thinking and frameworks and processes and design mindsets that complement the what we would traditionally call the design, which is the sort of visual aspects of it as well. Cool.
I'll go since I'm sort of sat next. Okay, so I think the next question that we're
You're supposed to read them.
I'm not reading. What's the difference between human-centered design and user experience?
Yeah, this is an interesting one that came up yesterday. It was that there was some it felt like some interchangeable words around it. So there was like design thinking, user experience design, human-centered design, customer experience design, and for me it was interesting because it was like, well, what one are people interested in? What's the difference between them?
So human-centered user experience, right? Let's get super succinct.
Okay.
Human-centered.
So human-centered design is all about involving humans generally, and
So
that's it.
Just the art of involving people.
Yeah, rather than it being solely down to, and by that I don't just mean humans in like, oh, my team, well, they're humans, but it's more like, it's more about your users really, the people who are going to be using your product.
So user experience then.
So the user experience
in
part,
comparison.
well, that's more about the software or the product, and how a user interacts with it. So it doesn't necessarily have to just be a product. It could be like Don Norman spoke a lot about the design of everyday things. So like the door, for instance, like how do you know that's a door? Because it's got a handle on it. It might have a sign saying pull. You know, that's a human interaction with something,
Right.
and that's the same across a digital product, whether it's your phone. You know, it's like, okay, so that's a phone, but how do I get from A to B, and like how you know, good is it? What's that journey like? How intuitive is it?
Yeah.
So that's essentially the major difference between those two. It's funny, like I love the design museum, but not to, you know, just thinking about it yesterday, I was thinking about it when I went to the toilet, because there's this part there where you go through a door and then you end up in this weird time capsule where there's just a wall, and there's no like handle or anything on it, and the idea, and there's no sign on it.
I think that got me as well.
And the idea is that you have
the design museum to have like a weird bit where you can't get through two doors.
Yeah,
the irony wasn't lost on me.
yeah, and you have to kind of, you're sort of like, oh, am I pushing, am I pulling, and it's really confusing. And then someone had to explain to people how they got in and out of the toilet.
It's like that when you go to use taps, isn't it? In these places, and there's no handle, and it's like, well, I've got to dig around for the sensor and stand in the right place
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah,
It's sort of, but then you've designed it so much so that like no
Yeah.
one can use it anymore. And
style over substance.
Mm.
Bad design museum.
Yeah, well, it's just funny, isn't it? I think that's
But we
what.
do love it.
I'm glad for any criticism in there as well. Not to be too positive about the place.
No, we love it. I
love
love
it.
it. It's just funny.
It's just on the human-centered design as well. There's an IDEO field guide to human-centered design
Yes.
for further reading. If you, we'll stick up a link to that. And yeah, cool. So next question.
How can I design for people?
Okay, so I think that's an interesting one, isn't it? It's by saying people, that can be incorporating your team, and that can also be incorporating your users as well. Ensuring that you're working collaboratively as a team rather than working in silo or anything like that.
Don't just give it to your designers to go away and design something. Allow them to have access to more people, to more users, to people who have opinions in the company. Give them a wealth of information to be able to design with.
I think one of the benefits of involving humans into your kind of design process is that people who aren't in your team, they'll have different ideas to you, and you can harness those ideas. So there's different ways of thinking, isn't there?
There's the divergent thinking and convergent thinking, and that is part of the process that you go on.
So the divergent thinking, if you work with people on your product, and you ask them questions, and you ask the right questions, you're just going to get this flurry of ideas. And we can start with one question and we can just go, and the convergent is then taking that and going like this and filtering it down.
Yeah, exactly.
Into
What's
something.
the benefit of doing that process?
Well, it's an integral part, because it's great having the divergent thinking, which is just like, there is no bad idea. There's, you can go as far out as you like. It's like a web, it can go off, it's not linear, whereas convergent is more linear, and that basically helps you, they complement each other, and it helps you from getting A to B.
Then we talked about at the event was the innovation pipeline, and you start off with your ideas at the beginning, but that's not innovation. Innovation is turning them into commercial successes and taking them to market.
Yeah.
So if you're using divergent and convergent, you're kind of coming up with the ideas, then you're focusing on how they can be a commercial piece of business.
Yeah, and it goes through that process. It goes up and down, because you go out to validate, you get loads more feedback, loads more ideas might come back, but then you hone them in again.
Cool.
Exactly.
Good. Oh, I think that's it from the questions today. And I think that's been really interesting. Thanks for your time, guys. Thank you, Dominic, and thank you, Jason. That's so formal. And that's it from us. Until next time, see you later.
Bye.